Alrighty, hello. This is our Bo Diddley Tech presentation. My group consists of Shaun Guggino, Joshua Holmes, myself, Josue Portillo, and Brent Burrows. So the purpose of this assignment is to measure if our independent results from our benchmark assignment will hold up or be consistent when we run the same test with a much larger sample than previously used. During this presentation, we will discuss how we used our combined data to create a pivot table, a bar chart, and run our multiple population proportion hypothesis test. Our statistical results will help us evaluate if the percentage of cheating within the four groups, which include business, non-athlete, business athlete, business, and non-business, is higher than the national average. So before actually doing all the stuff, and continuing on with the presentation, we wanted to include our original individual conclusions so we can see that for Josue, myself, and Joshua on our benchmark assignment, all of our population proportion hypothesis test showed a higher percentage of cheating, while Shaun's was a mix, as we can see that his business and non-business showed a higher percentage of cheating, while his athlete showed a slightly lower percentage of cheating. So in order to create the pivot table, the bar chart, and run our hypothesis test, we each got our 60 records that we had on our benchmark assignment and combined them together for a total of 180 records. These data points come from a survey that Bo Diddley Tech conducted within their institution, and the purpose of that survey is again to determine whether cheating at Bo Diddley Tech is higher than the national average. Again, our results will help us determine whether those percentages that we get on the results are higher than the national average. So once we had our 180 data points combined, we highlighted that and created the pivot table. In order to create the pivot table, we placed the college and athlete field within rows, and we placed the cheated field within columns and values. The pivot table is a representation of the 180 records in a more organized manner. It also allows us to locate specific areas of interest, such as how many business and non-business students participated in the survey. And from there, we can also see business athlete students, business non-athlete students, and we're also able to see how many of them cheated and how many of them didn't.
So when creating the bar chart, basically the bar chart is just kind of a visual representation of the pivot table. The bar graph basically shows the volume and the differences between the business athletes and non-athletes and the non-business athletes and non-athletes, and whether they cheated or not, whether they were an athlete. So really the kind of the usefulness of this is it just helps people better visualize the data comparative to certain things and kind of point out specific problems. So this kind of helps Bo Diddley Tech kind of create a better insight on what they should be focusing on inside the university where the cheating is. Next.
So the data analysis that we completed in concluding our findings of the samples we took of the students from the 5 categories, business non-athletes were among the highest at the school who cheated, being 28% higher than the national average. Business athletes students were among the lowest at 3% higher than the national average. Business athletes were also 25% less likely to cheat than non-business athletes during our data analysis. Next slide. So the recommendations to the dean that our team have developed to give to the dean to better serve the students and the staff with the problem of cheating. To lower these numbers, we offer our recommendation that may work for both the staff and the students, which first is to create a fair exam. This will deter any reasons for the need of cheating on any test that is administered. This will deter any reason to also cheat for further or future students, also for each class during each semester. The second would be to rewrite the new exams each semester. This way, previous students cannot pass information to other students. Third would be to create more than one version of the test. This will also deter cheating from texting answers or passing answers in between class. Be sure to also discuss honesty and integrity for exams to staff in meetings and to students in the school hand guide. Lastly, set up students for success. Create effective and easy to follow study guides that are helpful to prepare for exams from the professors. Next slide. As the investigation team, thank you for allowing us to evaluate your school's performance for students taking exams. We cannot provide false documentation of the data that we have collected for many reasons, ethical reasons. Altering results of our investigation could lead to many outcomes. As the dean, you should be the leader in making an example of what students should do. Lying would be doing the complete opposite of what you're trying to deter. Falsifying records could hit the national news and could potentially lead to your termination as the dean of the university. Certain professors may play favorites if they know some students are more likely to cheat versus other students. It not only hurts the school's reputation, but it can also hurt our company's reputation. Lastly, the factors of cheating at this university could deter students and professors from applying to the school.
So basically just kind of running back over things, that the data analysis slide basically shows that the population proportion hypothesis test had a higher percentage of cheating compared to the national average at Bo Diddley Tech. And then going kind of back to the original hypotheses, kind of showing that Josue and Joshua had their original proportion tests are consistent with the combined test, that the national average is lower than the one that is occurring at Bo Diddley Tech, while my results had higher cheating in 2 out of the 3 categories, while the Bo Diddley Tech business athletes had a lower percentage of cheating. So basically kind of concluding all that, the tests tend to be consistent with what we run in the proportion hypothesis test, even if it's a sample of 60 compared to 180, which basically suggests that cheating is a really big issue among the business and non-business students at Bo Diddley Tech compared to the national average.